Hello friends, Brandy here with Falcon Healing Arts. I hope you're doing really well. I have a special series that I'm introducing to you today on spiritual health. And the reason we're doing it now is that we just celebrated Thanksgiving. We're moving toward Christmas. I consider this to be the most magical and sacred time of the year, not just because of these special holidays, but also because the yin energy, as we say in Chinese medicine, the yin energy is increasing, the yang energy of the sun is decreasing, and so this is moving us toward the most darkest times of the year. So dark meaning that there is just not enough sunlight, but not having that significant power in our lives affects our moods and makes us think about the world differently. So it is literally darker, and so it can be emotionally dark for some people who don't have a strong spiritual connection. And it could be the most magical time of the year for people who do, because this is where they are getting the light, this is where they are getting the strength to focus on the things that are meaningful in their lives. So we're going to be talking about all of that, and I think it's a great idea to just start with, what is spirituality? What does it mean to have spiritual health? And before we get into this, I want to share why I'm here on the beach. You may notice that there is sand behind me. There's volleyball players behind me. I'm here at Cowell's Beach in Santa Cruz, California, right next to the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. I just dropped off my son with his friends, and I was planning on doing this video in the next few days, but not necessarily today. I thought it might be a possibility, so I did bring my tripod, but was giving myself permission to not get to it if I just wanted to sit and knit on the beach. But then I started thinking about my near-death experience, which actually happened right here, right there on the water in front of me. About 25 years ago, and I did do a video on this experience that you may want to watch, because it is what propelled me along this spiritual journey. It was at that time that I first heard God's voice. In this place right here is the first time that I felt a deeper presence, and what ultimately saved my life that day. I do feel that I was given a choice to let it end right there, and I was actually perfectly fine with that, or, as I was reminded in that experience, which just lasted seconds, that there was still a way that I wanted to serve in this life, and that is what has motivated me to do what I do. So again, you can look at that video, but anyway, I was thinking about that experience, and I'm like, duh, if I am doing a video about spiritual health, I need to be doing it right here, right now. So I have my tripod here, the phone is on. Let's get into these aspects of spiritual health that I think are important to consider. So at its core, spiritual health is about aligning with a higher power. It's a divine presence and universal truth that gives us life purpose and direction. Now, there are many spiritual practices, many that I have shared here on this channel, and they could all be very important in one's life. But if you don't have this connection to a greater, higher power when you are doing these practices, then they can become performative, superficial, and focus too much on the self. To be spiritually healthy, we need to be able to yield and to find a depth that comes when we trust something greater and we are able to surrender to the divine. Spiritual health also involves being in alignment with values that honor love, compassion, integrity, and humility. So it's not just doing the rituals and practices, but more about embodying these. So less about blaming others too about the circumstances in our lives, and more about focusing on what we can do and actually being the change that we wish to see in the world. Having a healthy spiritual life means that we are open to self-reflection and growth. We are willing to confront the things that darken our heart. And this is actually where we're going for the next video, because a lot of people don't realize that the way they're living their lives, the attitude that they have about themselves and other people, can leave their hearts closed off and actually prevents them from being able to connect to a higher power. The heart needs to be open before you can perceive this greater presence in your life. So a person can't know God through their mind, through just reading about spirituality. They actually need a different heart to find faith and to learn how to forgive and heal. And then finally, being spiritually healthy and mature this way involves community and service. So naturally, the spirituality, even though we are self-reflective, we then need to move it outward. So it is this outward moving experience. When we're connected to our higher power, we then feel a greater connection to other people, to the flora and fauna of this earth, and we have the desire to contribute meaningfully to the world. So I would love to hear, friends, how you see spiritual health, and if you feel like there is more room for yours to start to grow. You may do breath work, you may journal, you may actually meditate, which is so important. You may do human design and follow astrology, all these things that I sincerely love and have found helpful. All these practices are really wonderful for self-growth and feeling more empowered. However, the issue is that they do lack depth, and they lack that relational aspect of spiritual health. So you will likely find more peace in your life when you can anchor into a spirituality that is more transcendent, where you can truly surrender to divine guidance. Many blessings to you, friend. I look forward to connecting with you again soon.